Assalamualaikum. Hi. So, like I said last week, today's lesson, sorry. So, for today's lesson, we are going to talk about the main idea. Alright, so from what we have learned last week, we talked about topic sentence, alright, number one, and thesis statement, right? Actually, these two elements of writing, both topic sentence and thesis statement, they are related to what we are going to learn today, the main idea. So let's just briefly go through what we learned last week. Topic sentence is a sentence that delivers the main idea of your paragraph or your essay. It delivers the main idea in one sentence. That's topic sentence. Whereas thesis statement, it summarizes the points, at least 3 points of your whole essay in one or two sentences. Okay, see how the difference. However, although they may be different, what they're trying to deliver is main idea, which is what we're going to learn today. So in order for you to write a good thesis statement, a topic sentence, you need to know what is main idea in the first place. So let's get into it. Alright, so main ideas, like some of the classes may have learned this last week, just for a quick second. So main idea is, you ask yourself, what's the point? What's the point of the author writing this passage or paragraph? What is he trying to deliver in this paragraph, right? Within these words. Okay, that's repeated. Alright, people ask this question when they want to know a speaker or writer's main idea. So if someone is talking to you, alright, you're receiving all this information, alright, but you're trying to understand him or her. So in order for you to understand him or her, you want to know, what is the point? Inti. What's the inti of that person is talking about? Okay? Alright. Determining the main idea or point is the most important key to good comprehension. So someone who's able to understand a passage or idea, she or he must be able to find the main idea of the topic or paragraph or essay, alright? So if you want to understand something better, you need to know the point. Okay? Right, next, in identifying main idea, the first thing you need to do is, first, you need to read the whole text, alright? So, because if you're not reading the whole text, you're missing out some of the information that may be or potentially important for you to conclude a point in that essay or paragraph. Okay, so you have to read the whole text and then ask the same question: what is the author doing here? What is he trying to say? Alright, and then you pay attention, extra attention, to the first and the last sentence, of the passage or paragraph. Although it might not be necessary, but in most cases, the first and the last sentence, they talk about the general point of that passage. They basically conclude what's the passage is all about. So that is the main idea. So pay extra attention on that. Okay. Next, to find the main idea of a reading selection, ask yourself this question. Like I said, that's basically repeated. Alright, so let's look into this cartoon. What's the author's point in this cartoon? Okay, so our marriage has problems. He likes to spend money, I like to save it. He's a night person, I'm a day person. He likes sport and I hate them. Okay, so this couple, they went to the marriage counselor to talk about their marriage problems, right? So what's the point of this cartoon? Alright, the author's point is that the marriage has problems. So how do you know that? Alright, so notice the wife supports a point that the marriage has problems with solid examples, that her husband likes to spend money and she likes to save it. He is a night person, she's a day person, he likes sports, and she hates sports. So these 3 points are to support the main idea that the marriage has problems. So that's the whole point of the cartoon, alright? Now, let's look into this example. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first men to walk on the surface of the moon, but they were not the last. That was Gene Cernan, the last man to step off the lunar surface. In total, there have been 12 men who have walked on the moon, all of whom had done so between 1969 and 1972, which is the most recent non-Michael Jackson moonwalking. So if you notice from this example, right, there's actually a repeated word. Notice the word moon, right? So from this clue, you may or may not get the understanding that the example is talking about those who have been to the moon, right? So let's see, right? The biggest idea of that example. So the biggest idea is that the paragraph is talking about the moonwalkers. So how do you know that? You look at the information given. That Armstrong and Aldrin, the first men on the moon, so that is support 1. 12 men have walked on the moon, that is support 2. And Cernan was the last man on the moon. So these 3 information or details are basically talking about those who have been to the moon. Alright? Okay, so moving on. Be careful when you writing your test. The writers may ask questions something like this. Another good title for this passage would be, actually this is just a way of asking for the main idea. So keep that in your mind. Alright, let's moving on to this example. What is the author point in the following paragraph? School bullies have been around as long as there have been schools. Studies reveal several reasons why some children become bullies. Research shows that a certain combination of size and personality may be one factor. Bigger, more aggressive children are more likely to try to dominate their smaller, quieter peers. Another factor linked to bully is overexposure to violent TV programs. By the time the average American child is 10 years old, he or she has watched thousands of acts of violence, including assault and murder. Such exposure can lead to aggression and violence. Finally, exposure to real violence is a factor in bullying. Studies indicate that victims of bullies often turn into bullies themselves. Whether abused by family members or tormented by other kids, bullies typically learn their behavior from others. Look closely into the eyes of a bully, and you may be looking into the eyes of a former victim. Alright, so it's talking about bully, right? However, if you look closely into the points, they're actually talking about the factors, the reasons. So, the main point of that passage is that studies reveal several reasons why some children become bullies. Okay? Now, for main idea, think of it as an umbrella, a big umbrella. That the main idea is the author's general point, and all the other material of the paragraph fits under it. Alright, and those materials or informations, those are actually supporting details, which are specific evidence such as examples, causes, reasons, or facts. And the diagram below shows the relationship. So look at this umbrella. From the passage we read earlier, this is where you put the main idea, alright? So the rest of the details, which actually the reasons, right? The reasons. Reason 1, combination of size and personality, overexposure to violent TV programs, exposure to real violence. So these 3 will be under the umbrella, okay? Alright, so another clue to finding main idea is you look into the addition words. So from this passage, how do you know that they're talking about the reasons, several reasons why some children become bullies? Is you look into the addition words: one, another, and finally. So this is actually indicating that the details is being presented one by one. And from these details, it will building up the whole main idea, which is several reasons, right? And moving on. A main idea may appear at any point in a paragraph. However, it usually is at the beginning as either the first or second sentence. Okay, look at this structure. Main idea, like I said, sometimes it will be at the first of the paragraph. So that will where you will usually find the main idea, and the supporting details will follow after it. But in some of the cases, the passage will start with something like background knowledge about the topic to introduce you maybe some statistic, etc. And then only then it will move to the main idea, like the previous sentence about bully, right? So school bullies, so this is the introductory details, and only then it goes to the main ideas, okay? And then the rest is the supporting details. So for this structure, you look into this passage. Spanking is a poor way to shape a children's behavior. And then that's the main idea, of course. So how do you know that? For one thing, spanking will result in feelings of anger and frustration. The child then will not learn anything positive from the punishment. In addition, spanking may actually lead to more bad behavior. Having learned that hitting is okay, the child may attack smaller children. Finally, spanking teaches children to hide certain actions from their parents. Once out of the parent's sight, however, children may feel they can get away with the bad behavior. Alright, so you'll directly know, because it's highlighted here, that the main idea is in the first sentence, right? But how do you prove this? You look into the supporting details. For one thing, it will result in feelings of anger and frustration, and then the keywords clue in addition, right? And then there's another one, finally. Alright, okay, a final thought. So whether we are writers, listeners, or speakers, the heart of clear communication is you have your point, and then you have information to support your point. Alright? The heart of clear communication. Good writers and speakers, they make a point and they support the point. And good readers or listeners, they recognize the point and they recognize the support of the point. So to review, to recognize the main idea, we have to know that it is the most important key to good comprehension. If you want to understand someone, you need to know their point. And the main idea is a general umbrella. Just remember that, an umbrella with a general topic or understanding, and underneath of the umbrella is the supporting details, okay? And 3 strategies that will help you to find the main idea are to look for general versus specific ideas. Number 1, use the topic to lead you to the main idea, because sometimes the topic they are repeated. Some keywords in the topic, they are repeated in the passage. Like for example, bullies just now, and then moon, right? And then use keywords, verbal clues that lead you to a main idea. Sometimes, like the addition words. What else? There's a lot more. Okay, so the main idea often appears at the beginning of a paragraph, though it may appear elsewhere in a paragraph. It's just most of the time, but it does not necessarily like that. So yeah, I hope you understand for what is main idea. Alright, and look into your Google Classroom. I will post some questions for you to answer. Alright, thank you.